So in 45, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirataha. One of the greatest challenges that we see today among all the people who are working is to find satisfaction in their work. This job dissatisfaction is the biggest source of stress for any working person, employed person. And so Krishna is directly answering that question. Really, that's what he's doing. He is not talking about how to do your puja, how to sit dhyanam, all those things are over. Here he is talking about how your day should be. That is what he's talking, how your day should be. And so, sve sve karmani abhirataha samsiddhim labhate naraha. Being busy doing what you're doing. How you can gain quote unquote siddhi. Siddhi can be interpreted. In some context, siddhi means moksha. Okay. In this context, siddhi it need not mean moksha. Technically, it won't mean moksha. Why? Because karmani. Karma and moksha are opposites. And karmana moksha na prapyate. Why? Because karma is finite. From a finite cause, you can only get a finite effect. Moksha is not finite. Therefore, technically, if you argue, siddhi cannot be moksha. So you can take here as antakarana shuddhi, which is very important. The karma yoga buddhi is there. So that is siddhi. Karma yoga buddhi is siddhi. Ishwararpana buddhi and prasada buddhi, if somebody has, that's it, over. Everything else is a detail after that. Okay. So then he says, Swakarma nirataha siddhim yatha vindati. Tachrud. Listen to me about that. How one can be engaged in one's own duties, which one is swabhavajam. Earlier he said the word. So ideally, one should be doing what is one's calling, what is one's nature. Okay. And why that will give you the greatest fulfillment. I'm going to tell you, please listen. That is what he said. So this 46 is a beautiful shloka, and all of us who studied Shastram before, especially under Swamiji and all, will know that this is an oft-quoted shloka. Because Siddhin Vindati Manavaha is there. And then Yataf Pravrittir Bhutanam Yena Sarvam Idam Tatam. It gives a lot of room to talk about Sanatana Dharma idea of Ishvara. Ishvara. So it gives, it is a what do you call it? A comprehensive shloka, if you will. So we said that there are three things about which my attitude must change. Karma, karma phalam, and the karma phala data. So I'm still reviewing what we did last class. It's been a while, right, since we had a Gita class. I was thinking, yesterday when I was looking at it, I said, where did I stop? So generally, I don't have to worry about where did I stop. I do remember where I stopped. But then I said, how come I'm not able to? Did I cover this or not? I knew the which shloka. Don't think I'm totally lost. I'm not totally lost. So in that shloka, I went further. So when I went further, how far did I go? That I was thinking. So then I realized it's been a couple of weeks there. So three things: karma, karma phalam, and karma phala data. Three things about which our attitude must change. Karma is an offering. Karma is what I do. It's all right, but I'm playing roles. Like in a drama, people play roles. My role, I'm a role player, and so I'm offering this karma. There's an audience that is watching. There's an audience that is watching. You think you people are not watching, but everybody is watching us somehow or the other. This LinkedIn will send a message. Jay Kumar, you are being noticed. Did you get that message? Anybody that you are getting noticed? Yeah. So Prasanna says yes. So I said, wow, I'm being noticed. I didn't know that. Wow, what did I do? Six people noticed you. Oh my God, six people and immediately you go, because nobody at home, nobody is noticing me. They are only shouting at me all the time. So we want people to notice us. So Jackmore, people are noticing you. Then after this masala goes away, after some time, Jay Kumar, your accomplishments are being recognized. Wow, this is too much. And this has not happened to me before. It's been many, many years since somebody recognized my accomplishments. So, it's unending. These people have figured out, hey, somebody is unmuted. Somebody is unmuted. Or is it the echo? Yeah, Ramoji, please mute yourself. And so, and this is how life goes. And so, people are watching us. People are watching us. Today, these days, definitely people are watching us. And if they're not watching us, I'll go into Facebook and say, here, look, my garden, the flower has come. I'll post the flower picture. That's it, over. Beautiful. Everybody will say, "Hey, Tali bajao." So people are noticing us. If you don't notice me, I will make sure you notice me. That also is there. Okay. So therefore, offering. Okay, people are noticing me, whether I know it or not. People means what? This whole world is interconnected. And so let me change my attitude. I'm going to offer. Even brushing the teeth also, it's an offering. Everything is an offering. Getting up is an offering. I'm now alive to this world. And today, may this day be uh, good for me and for everybody else around me. So, offering, prayer, prayerful, learn to enjoy what I do and learn to improve what I do. It's again, like I said, in some cases, learn to enjoy is easier said than done. So we are not discounting that at all. And so we have to keep that in mind. Karma phalam. Okay. If karma is an offering, karma phalam is something that I want, obviously. I have a desire in mind. I have an outcome in mind. But I also know very well that these outcomes are not in my hands. Oh, therefore, prasada buddhi is automatic. Prasada buddhi. And then karma phaladata. I was watching a video yesterday. Somebody sent me a video about this Sharada, the Shigeri Sharada Peetam in the US. They have they're asking these young people. They're giving this podcast by this young man was there talking, and some half an hour chat, because these teenagers and all there, where they're all confused. They think being religious is old fashioned and things like that. Some dialogue was there, and I was watching. And he did a pretty reasonably good job of explaining Sanatana Dharma in half an hour. It's not easy. And he was talking about religion versus spirituality and things like that. And he was talking about karma, not karma, talking about the idea of Ishvara and how Vedas are scientific and things like that. So he was doing I was reasonably impressed with him. And so that karma phala data, every religion accepts karma phala data. This is not unique to our dharma. And but the uniqueness is that the all-pervasive Ishvara is just not a pep talk. And but God sitting in heaven is only starting point for us. And then all-pervasive Ishvara has to be brought in. And all-pervasive and form don't go together. If there is a form, the form cannot be all-pervasive. If all-pervasiveness is there, formlessness has to come. We are experts at formlessness, analyzing Ishvara. Without fear of jihad, we analyze Ishvara. Okay? And so, that karma phala data, there is a karma phala data. The entire, every atom is moving. Not an atom moves without his, what do you call it? They say, Anuvindri Asaya. So without his vision, nothing moves. Without him not knowing, nothing moves. Like that, there is a beautiful statement. And so that we imbibe that. And so that Ishvara, who is that Ishvara? What is your idea of Ishvara? Yeah. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam Simple statement. Pravrittihi. Here pravrittihi means utpattihi. Bhutanam utpattihi yataha yasmat jatam. Yasmat jata. Pravrittihi is Trilingam. So that from whom the entire Srishti has come about. Come about. All right. Then yena sarvam idam tatam. This is Sanatana Dharma. Yena. And then that creator, that you thought creator created this world, but that creation, that by whom the creation is pervaded, all pervasive Ishvara. Yena sarvam idam tatam. So that's a unique kind of creation. It's so unique that we cannot use the word creation anymore. That's why Srishti for us is pakka. It works very well. Srishti. And Bhutanam pravritti. So, because creation word causes problems. All this English, this English itself. See, I really wish I was talking in some other language, regional language. Really, Sanskrit would be ideal. But if I talk in Sanskrit, then I will be looking at a black screen. So that's a one different problem. Because there won't be any buyers, no takers will be there, and that's one thing. So constantly we are trying to correct ourselves because the English language does not have certain words that we want to communicate. That's why many people feel when they listen to some their pravachan in their own language like Marathi or Tamil, then they feel like they connect with the especially after the background they have. Swamiji's background is there. Then they connect very well with the Shastra. And so here, Srishti. What kind of Srishti? What kind of creator is that? Not only created, but also Ena Sarvam Idam Tatam. Tatam means you have to understand Vyaptam. Vyaptam, pervaded. That by whom the Srishti is pervaded. You know very well about the story of the idea of pervasion here. That is how we learned the ideas of Satyam and Mithya. Satyam and Mithya. In the case of a pot, the pot maker is very much different from the clay. Nimitta Karanam is different from Upadana Karanam. There's no question of these two being identical. And every idea of creation we know in our life is all Bhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. So the Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam are Bhinnam. Bhinnam, different. And suddenly our Shastram says that's great, but but begin to understand the creation in a different way. And so my attitude, my knowledge has to improve, has to change. And this, that's when all the Prahlad, all the movies I saw when I was young, and this Bhakta Prahlad and all that comes to my mind. And those stories become very relevant now. Those days it was relevant because of the whole imagery and all is just too much. And father son duo is there instead of living together, they're fighting. They're ready to kill each other. At least son doesn't kill, but father is ready to kill the son. So the child cannot forget this. And so you know that story. In Telugu, I love those dialogues. Nee what is it? నీ నారాయణుడు హరి హరి ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాడు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాడా there in this pillar. And this boy's response is just absolutely amazing. He's smiling. He's looking at father and saying, come on, is this the way you talk, asking where is Narayana and all. Chakri sarvopagadundu. This dialogue I remember the entire movie, nothing else I remember. Chakri sarvopagadundu. Hey, ఇందుగల దండు లేదని సందేహము వలదు, he says. Hey, he's here, not there. This kind of silly ideas. Who gave you all these silly ideas? I'm so disappointed. Dad, you are my father. Chakri sarvopagadundu. Hey, Chakri is all pervasive. Everywhere he's there. Of course he's there in the pillar. So that's the story. And so any child exposed to these kinds of stories will eventually have to pick up Vedanta. Vedanta will not be difficult. So, so yena sarvam idam tatam idam vyaptam. That all pervasive entity, for lack of a better word, has to be self-existent. Now suddenly Vedanta ideas will come. Self-existent. Everything else is dependent on something else. Like the pot is dependent on clay for its existence. Every object in the world is like that, including the sun and the moon, including the body also. Everything is perishable, vinashi, and because it is mithya. Then this yena sarvam idam tatam comes, and then Atma also is there. And then we say that Yena is nothing but Atma. Then what is Atma? Atma is right here. I say I don't know Atma? It's not possible. I don't know Atma, but I know Atma also. And so that's the catch. That's the beauty. That is my, that is a window of opportunity for me to appreciate Ishvara now. Previously, Ekarupa Ishvara. Correct? Ekarupa Ishvara. I need a form. Everybody needs a form. Ishvara's form is what attracts us. And then saw this child, some video they sent a few days ago. Somebody called me and said, "Did you see the video I sent?" I said, I'm getting 150 videos every day. If I start seeing every video, Shastram is down the drain. Down the drain. And then she said, it's only 2 minutes. I said, every video is only 2 minutes. 2 times 200. How many minutes is that? So I think she was shocked when I said that. Anyway, this boy was just he goes to the temple, young, baby only it is. Boy, hardly able to stand up and gives this prasad, the bag with the fruits. And then he comes, he takes the prasad, does the arati and all. And then this thing, just everything, just textbook. And it's so beautiful to see all that. So from a young age, this happens. So, so starting from that Eka Rupa Ishvara, then the child assimilates that, internalizes that. Then many rupas are there. Okay, get used to it. Get used to it. Aneka Rupa Ishvara. Okay, good, good. Oh, then polytheistic. Hinduism is polytheistic. Okay, no problem. Get used to that idea for some time. And then at some point, then Vishwarupa Ishvara. How about Vishwarupa? If Ekarupa is possible, and then Aneka Rupa is possible, Vishwarupa also should be possible. They get used to that. Yena sarvam idam tatam. But then the if an Ishvara that has a form cannot become all pervasive, and therefore the all pervasive has to be formless, and that formless Ishvara is what Krishna is talking about here, not talking about Sri Krishna here. Sri Krishna has a form, and so Yena Sarvam Idam Tatam, and a lot of things you can't concretize. There is no form for a lot of things, like our emotions. Love is there. Love is you can't draw anywhere. There's no object called love. Beauty, no object called beauty. It's all an emotion out here. An appreciation, a very nuanced appreciation is there. Taste also very nuanced it is. And it's possible. Slowly, it is very subtle. These are all very subtle. But subtle, but it is me. That's the whole idea of this whole thing. Is you were able to understand and objectify so many things in this world. Science becomes very important in our lives. Education means science. Are you educated? Literate, how do you define? They come up with some definitions. And then beyond that, a lot of education is there. But this, the one of the reasons science has missed out on Atma and still confused about Atma, confused about consciousness. Two reasons I will say. One of the reasons is it's because Paranchikani Vyatrinat Swayambhu. We saw that in Kathopanishad. Because the sense organs, the human mind is only outward focused. And so constantly looking for stuff, searching for solutions. Fundamental problem also searching out there. Nobody's going to guess the solution is right here. That is one thing, science. Second reason I think you can debate on this, is because of the Western idea of science. Indian idea of science, Indian scientists were not confused about Atma. Indian scientists were all Mahatmas. Aryabhatta, Madhvacharya, all that you look, Baudhayana and all, they're all inventors. We were greatest in metallurgy, we were greatest in astronomy, we were greatest in math. Literally, now more I study, going to say number one. We were number one. Without batting my eyelid, I can say it. Everywhere we were number one. How come? Suppose the criticism is Vedanta makes people withdraw, no? Nivritti. Nivritti. People ask the question, oh, how the world can progress if everybody studies Vedanta? A very popular question it is. If that is the case, how come India was the most progressive country? How come our GDP was 24% of the global GDP 150 years ago? India, just 150 years ago. Just 150. Every Indian should study that. They must be taught this. That chart must be embedded. Just go to Google and say the economy of the world over 2000 years. That's it. You just type it. You will see a chart. And from 2000 years, India and China were 23, 24, 25% neck to neck, neck to neck, until the British came. British came. That's it. After that, you can see the steep curve. Steep curve it is. Just going all the way to zero. 2%, 3%. Yeah. We have to ask the question, what happened? How did we go from 23 to 3? Is it possible for a country's GDP to go from 23 to 3% like that in such a short span of time? Yeah. So therefore, all these statements, they don't hold any water. Vedanta makes people non-ambitious. How about that? Right? That's what it is. That's a concern. Because, you know, everything is mithya. So nothing is going to give me happiness. Only I can make myself happy. Therefore, what is the point? Don't solve any problem. So that's wrong. That's a wrong statement. And the more I think about it, I'm seeing that we, it's not possible. Governance. You look at temples, Uttara Merur temple, all the entire governance, how a village, a city must be governed, all the rules are written. All the rules are written. And who should be elected? If a guy commits these crimes, the guy is debarred from standing for elections for a long time, 20 years or something like that, by which time the guy is old and gone. That is their way of just eliminating the guy. This is how the governance was. And so, yena sarvam idam tatam. And Swamiji says, one way to appreciate Ishvara, very important way to appreciate Ishvara is order. Just order. Order. If I appreciate order, even in what appears to be chaotic, first let me appreciate order. Just basic order. Trees are growing, plants are growing. Order. A child is growing. Order. And grow old, everything, and then death is also part of the order. Order is there. That's why science is all about discovering order and applying the order for the benefit of humanity or benefit of earth, let's say. And that order, once I appreciate the order, then even the leaves, when they shake like this, they're also order. Wind, order. The bird is chirping now. Somebody chirped. Oh, that also is order. Order. At this particular time, this bird has to come and perch on the window. Yeah, it still happens. Still, we do get the day. Yesterday, there was a pigeon right here. Pigeon. And I was standing in front of the pigeon. He didn't run away. He was watching, looking at me. I also just looked at him and we were looking at each other for a while. I wanted to see who is going to get bored first. And finally he ran away. And so, order, everything is order. Everything is order. Nothing is random. This idea, Indians won't understand randomness, really, because in our vocabulary, the word random doesn't exist. Because everything is Ishvara, everything is order. Where is the question of randomness? If you say this is random, then you say Ishvara is random. That's not correct. Ishvara randomness we don't accept. And so, or that is the beautiful vision of Ishvara we have. And puja also. Puja, the child is taught to do puja. Come on, chant all this Om Sumukaya Namaha. No, 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 I will do it. The child wants to put flowers. They will say, no, no, Amma, don't do. You don't do. I will do it. I'll teach you how to do, okay? Eh? Really? You're going to teach me how to do? Yes. Very good. You're doing so good, so well. I'm so impressed by you. And child wants to do. That is how we start doing the puja. Then we end up with Shiva Manasa Puja. We're doing Manasa Puja. Because the man has grown out, woman has grown out of these things. Yeah, okay. Going to temple was important at a particular time. Now my house is a temple. Now my mind is a temple. Therefore, Shiva Manasa Puja is possible. Atma Tvam Girija Matihi. Atma Tvam Girija Matihi. Sahacharaha Prana Shariram Griham Puja Me Vishayopabhoga Rachana. Very beautiful. Adi Shankaracharya is just Girija Mati, Atma Tvam. You, the one I am worshipping, is Atma. You are Atma. And Girija Mati. Then who is Girija? Then she is my mind, Mati. Because feminine gender, so he says Mati. Like that, he writes all this. Prana, etc. Puja. Then what about all the flowers, everything he talks about? All the sense organs, the way they are operating. So that's the journey here. That's the journey. From Ekarupa all the way to Arupa, I have to go. So puja also has changed. My commitments have changed. My attitude has changed over life, through my life. That is what is Siddhi. Siddhi. And so, somebody might come and say, wait, God is like the sun, Surya. Sun is out there, specific location, very specific, right there. The sun is there. But the rays are all over. The brilliance is all over. Sunlight is everywhere. Nobody can say no to sunlight. So like that, God is out there in the heaven, in my heaven, and his brilliance is all over. That idea might be there, but we can't. That's all. It's not acceptable for us. There's too many statements in the Shastra. Too many statements. This is just one example. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Then Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, Mai Sarvam Pratishtitam, Mai Sarvam Layam Nyati, Tad Brahma Dvayam Advayam, Tad Brahma, Tad, Tad Brahma Dvayam Asmyaham. So, like this, many number of statements, every Upanishad has statements. So, same statement like this. Here, Yataha Pravrittir Bhutana, that from which the creation has happened. Yena Sarvam Idam Tatam. Then within brackets, you have to add Yasmin Sarvam Praliyate. That into which everything resolves. That also we should add. Only two Krishna mentions of the three. So, Kshetrajnyan Chapi Mam Vidhi. How can he say that? Kshetrajnyan Chapi Mam Vidhi. He doesn't say, my race are there. You are my race. He doesn't say. You are me. That's what he says in Bhagavad Gita also. And so, like this, there are many statements like that. So, for us, we don't we are very clear about this one. And so, Thuniliyum, Irpan, Thuniliyum, Irpam, and all of these statements are there in every language. Every regional language of India, we have all this. And so, Swakarmana Tam Abhyajya. This is the This is the password for us. This is the password of life. Swakarmana tam abhyarchya. Abhyarchya. Okay, what is abhyarchanam? Archanam. Pranamya. Namaskaram kritva. Namaskaram kritva. Pranamya. Aradhanam kritva. That is the meaning of abhyarchya. Means there is nobody near. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma kriti. There is not even for a moment I can sit without doing karma. Karma is there. As long as I'm alive, karma is going to follow me. It's like a shadow. And therefore, abhyarchya. Therefore, I have infinite opportunities for 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 doing this aradhana, doing this prarthana, abhyarchya, tam abhyarchya, that all pervasive Ishvara. I have opportunity from the moment I open my eyes, I have this opportunity. Swakarma. Earlier also he said, Swe Swe Karmani Abhirataha, like that he said. Here, Swakarma. Tam, Tam Ishwaram, that Ishvara, which is who is the creator, who is the pervader, and also the resolver, that into which everything resolves, that Ishvara I can appreciate through all my actions with the attitudes that we discussed before. Ishvararpana buddhi, prasada buddhi, and then ananyatva buddhi. Ananyatva buddhi means what? Hey, this karma is not separate from Ishvara. Karma phalam is not separate from Ishvara. Then karma is not separate from me. Karma phalam also is not separate from me. Take taragyan chapi mamyati. So, it's actually not a difficult concept at all. I was thinking, is it a difficult concept or not? This is what I was thinking a few days ago. You know, when we were young, we used to have all these summer vacations and all. We used to go by train from place to place to a native place and all. We used to, and it was a period of enjoyment. For whom? For us, for the children, I mean, for children. And the train journey starts, let's say, from Hyderabad to Chennai. Because South, Tamil Nadu, South villages are all down south for us. And so we have to go one train, two trains like this. We have to take, we end up. And we and the railway station in the village, there is a Namke Vaste railway station. And then you get up and there is no station at all. And you have to get down and three people have to be there to pull you down because there is no platform at all, period. Platform is there. If you're lucky, your coach will come right in front of the platform. The remaining 20 coaches are all out there. Out there. You have to walk on the stones and all that, and you have to come. That's all fine. But we didn't think it was a problem. For us, it was excitement. So these boys and girls who are traveling by train, a total riot from the minute they enter the train. It's just exploration, exploration, exploration. Running around constantly and looking at this window, this window. Then somebody will say, hey, come here, come here. There is something there. Then you go to the other window, other side. Then you go there and look, oh, look at all those cows. Cows also used to enjoy. And then come, look at that. There's some smoke coming there. Look, something is on fire. You go catch them. This is how we used to spend it. This father, on the other hand, means a parent, let's say, by the time Chennai comes, this guy is a nervous wreck. Okay, you know why he's a nervous wreck? Because from the minute he enters, he's constantly obsessed about children. Then chaiwala comes, some 5 rupees chai, he argues with this fellow. And kya pani hai, pani, veru tanni. That too, you're charging 10 rupees. In Hyderabad, we used to get, for 5 rupees, good tea we used to get. He used to argue all this. Stop, argue. Then he goes out, gets some water. And then he comes back. The train starts. Then he forgets the flask. Flask is forgotten. So he doesn't know. He's looking around, nothing, flask is gone. And then everybody says, Chhod do, yaar, come on, it's all part of life. Part of life. Then he says, what part of life? This flask, 12 hours, it will keep the hot water hot. Or if you put ice, cold water, it will put 12 hours, it will keep cold. Do you know this kind of flask is there? That is flask I lost. This guy goes on. Next, Chennai also comes. Before getting down, he makes sure he says, I lost my flask. 12 hours it used to keep my coffee hot. 12 hours it used to keep your ice cold. Hangover is there. This guy. How? Tell me who is enjoying life? You please tell me. Is there? Do I have to even explain to you who is enjoying life? Nervous wreck. How is this guy going to Swakarmanatam Abhyarcha and all you are supposed to talk? How? And these boys and girls, Swakarmanatam Abhyarcha, they don't know about Ishvara and all, but they are living in the present moment. They lived in the present moment. They don't know why they are going to Chennai. Some marriage is there. And only after they go to the marriage, they will become friendly with all the others. They're ready to make friends also. They have disappeared. Marriage people are out there fighting with each other. These guys are having fun. Riot. Just riot. So, such a person will eventually appreciate the Vedanta. No doubt. I am very convinced of. I'm very convinced. We are the ones who tell them, don't do this, don't run there, don't sit there, don't eat this, don't study that. You must study this. Hey, you must study this. I will study in my own time. Somebody called me the other day, and the father says, a bit uncomfortable. He's supposed to be applying for colleges and all that, and he doesn't. He says, "I'll do it. Don't worry, Appa." And all it seems something I don't know. I can't. I think next few months I don't know. I'm not going on. Are you going on vacation? No, I'm not going on vacation. Why? Because of this problem only. Because his mind is full of this only. So that's how we have become. That's how we have become. So okay, there is a time and place for everything. As long as we understand that, these things are helping us, that's good. So, swakarmana tam abhyarchya. It is not applicable only to the Sanatana Dhammis. It is universal message. What about all this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra that he talked about? Is that also universal? Yeah, of course it is universal because it's based on mental inclination. It is based on what you love to do. Every human being says, yeah, I love to do something. This is the kind of job I love to do. So it is a universal categorization. Exactly like our people have categorized all this species and all. In science, we learned all this. They have domain, they have kingdom, then they have something else, then they have species at the bottom. At the bottom is species, like cow and dogs. Cow and dogs, different species. Top, animal kingdom, plant kingdom. You know where that word kingdom comes from? It comes from that categorization. Animalia, I think it's called plantia, or something like that. I remember fungi, then bacteria. Bacteria without nucleus is another archaea category and all that. I'm sure the doctors know all these things. But those Latin names and all we read. Categorization. Hey, is this only in America this categorization works? No, no, no. Europe also it works. What about Latin America? There also it works. What about Asia? Asia also it works. Same categorization. Same thing. Animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and this and that. Bacteria, protozoa, they have all these things. So exactly like that. This categorization also same. In America, they have a square in corporations that do this. They put a square and then four squares are there. And then they call the category type 1, type 2, and all there. I remember vaguely. Now I almost forgotten that. But they have something. They say this person is more like a director, thinker type of category. And they are able to categorize four. If we categorize four, it's a problem for you. Is that what it is?
We type A personality, type B, type A personality.
Type A, type B. Yeah, exactly. Type B. Is that not categorization? Right. Anyway, there is a lot of mischief going on all over. Anyway, so to me, this is very empowering. Swakarmanatam abhyachya. Swakarmanatam abhyachya is the password for us here. And so siddhim vindati manavaha. If I do that, if I if I if I appreciate Ishvara and do aradhana of Ishvara with this kind of a vision, then what happens to me? Manavaha siddhim vindati. Manavaha, Manushyaha, Purushaha, Manavaha, Manu comes from the word Manu. Manu is that so-called the first progenitor of the entire humanity, right? The word man also comes from Manu. Yeah, I think you can do some research. Check with Chat GPT. Chat GPT. The other day I asked Chat GPT. Gurumurti ji gave a talk day before yesterday. We are having this Swamiji's Aradhana function in Rishikesh. It's going on right now. Today at 8:30 again the Puja and all is going to start. But we are having a series of discussions. Sannyasi meetings and all were there. And Gurumurti was the invited speaker. For a couple of hours he spoke. 3 hours actually, two separate sessions we had. Gave a fantastic talk. I'll send that. If I get the video, I'll send that link to you. Just he's very good at painting a picture. Just broadening our thinking. He just takes. That's how it should be. And he said about this India is the only country that was content with itself. We never invaded another country. If you look at genocides throughout the history, it's all caused by Christianity and Islam. Ashoka killed some people, some many thousands of people got killed somewhere. Okay, that's for a different reason that happened. But otherwise, nobody can say Hinduism genocide. There is no connection at all. Those were genocided. That's all the maximum we can say. And he talked about how North America, millions, 100 million people massacred, means the natives of America before by the colonization, by the West, etc. So I went to Google, Chat GPT. I asked him, can you tell me how many people were genocided in the occupation of North America by the West? And big lecture it gave me, big lecture. And then millions, like that, some number was there. Then I said, you know what? You are trying to protect the West. You are trying to whitewash this information. Somewhere I read these run into even 100 million. This is what I said. Told ChatGPT. ChatGPT, you should argue like that. Only then it picks up. It will pick up the actual thing. Then he said, "I understand your frustration." ChatGPT is very good. I understand your frustration for not having gotten a very specific answer about these numbers and all that. And then he gives an explanation, and then quietly ChatGPT admits there are estimates that up to 50 to 100 million people have perished. This is how. This is how ChatGPT is trained to respond. But you ask them about caste system, immediately it will come. Yeah. So, Siddhim Vindati Manavaha. Man, you should ask, man, did it come from Manu and all this? See what ChatGPT says. And so anyway, Siddhim, same thing. Chitta Shuddhim Vindati Manavaha. And so the person who enjoys karma, as opposed to waiting for the karma to fructify and enjoy the result of karma. Ramaji said that. I like that idea very much. Just love what you do. That's it. I'm reminded of a time when we were forced to cook. The minute we had stepped foot in America, one thing that happens is all enamored by all these things is okay, all highways and this, that, etc. Road, no pothole in the road. Wow, it's so good. Can you sleep on the road? Is it so good? So, but after all that, you go home, then the stomach is growling, and then food. Food, unfortunately, people like me couldn't really eat that kind of food that they had. So you had to make food. You had to make rice. You had to make dal. Everything has to be made. We would never knew all these things. So we used to cook. Fortunately, we used to live as a group, and so we used to take turns. And so we used to make some. Every dinner. Dinner is the only thing. Who is going to cook 3 times and all? Such a thing doesn't exist. And so, evening time, when we all come home, some food must be there. So that is the only planning. And so today it's your turn, tomorrow it's my turn, etc. And cooking starts. It's actually amazing how we survived, because some of the people, you can't eat the food. So we used to simply eat for the sake of eat. And then I was also in the same category. Not like then I used to cook. And somehow I think it was edible. It was edible, because why I say that, because there's a guy called Sundar in that group, and he was been cooking from a very young age. Somehow in that family it was like that, and so he used to casually cook stuff. Hey, I told you this example. He used to come and say, "Let's have some bhaji today. Don't you feel like having bhaji today?" And then you say, "Well, really? You wonder, should I say yes or no?" Yeah, I mean, if you are going to make it, I'm interested. I don't know if he's going to ask you to make something, I don't know what is dough and mixing water with dough and all. I don't know. So, no, no, come on, we should make something. And then he will start. Within 10 minutes, it's all ready. And so he used to come. So he used to go to the gym, he used to come because I'm cooking. So he's come at 7 o'clock and he looks, oh, what did you do today? And all that. So then, oh, arachivita sambara. So means there is sambar. Two types of sambar we have. One is sambar by putting the pre-prepared sambar powder. That also you can make sambar and mix it in. Or you can make your own sambar powder that day. Powder means what? You mix all the stuff. You mix all your dhania and this red pepper and I mean white pepper. Sorry, black pepper. What am I saying? Red chili and black pepper. அரைச்சு விட்ட சாம்பார்னா இதுதானே இருக்கணும். And then dhania, coriander seeds and all you have to mix. And then uh, it's a huge thing because sambar, you put sambar powder, that's it. அரைச்சு விட்ட sambar, making sambar from scratch is not something people do every day. But that day I decided to do it because I used to enjoy what I was doing. The point I was saying is, it used to take me 2 hours. For me, cooking was never easy. I used to keep everything and then salt, where is salt? Okay, there, I have to just prepare myself. But I used to enjoy it, then do it. And he comes and he tastes it. It's a very stressful period for people like us because no, he's tasting it. This guy is the master and he tastes not bad. Really good. நல்லா வந்திருக்குடா. So when he says நல்லா வந்திருக்குடா, it means what? God is saying that you've done a great job. You remember that. So really. And if he can consume the food you make, then you say, my God, this time today was today worked out very well. But of course, worked out very well from the start also, because karma was enjoyable. Used to enjoy it. From the time that mustard seeds are splittering, whatever in that thing onwards, everything is enjoyed. Everything is enjoyed, including doing the dishes. Okay, somebody else will do dishes. No, you have to do everything. Today, it is your job to cook and do all the dishes. And I used to enjoy it. I used to enjoy it. And I used to do dishes for others also. So there's another guy who used to cook very well, but he used to make a mess of the whole kitchen. Mess means mess. And he used to make paratha and all. Because we don't make parathas. We can make rasam sambar. That's beyond that. Don't ask us to do anything else. I fill your stomach. That's about it. Paratha, this, that, and all. Kya baat hai? So he used to make paratha. Suddenly you come home, parathas done. Because he had a restaurant in Calcutta. And so he was from a young age, he knows he's gone into the kitchen and mingled with all the cooks. He's that kind of a guy. And he just does stuff. And just exotic stuff will be there at home. Very exotic stuff. But he can't clean because he's not used to cleaning the tabletop and all that. That kind of stuff he had never done because he was a CEO, and so they don't do all this. So I used to come and I used to say, don't worry, I'll take care of this stuff, cleaning and all that, and dishes and all. So like that. Anyway, these are all old stories. Siddhim Vindati Manavaha. Enjoying karma itself is a great thing. Karmana tam abhyarchya means what? Just appreciating your presence here. The kartritvam itself is not there. Where is the kartritvam? When you're enjoying what you're doing, and you're not going to take credit. You're going to give credit to everybody else out there. And so Uh, that's the meaning of this shloka. It's a beautiful one. Let's translate this. Through one's duty, Pujya Swamiji, through one's duty, worshipping him from whom, through one's duty, worshipping him from whom is the creation of worshipping him from whom is the creation of the beings, creation of beings, by whom all this is pervaded, by whom all this is pervaded, a human being gains success. A human being gains success through one's duty, comma, worshipping him from whom is the creation of the beings, comma, by whom all this is pervaded, comma, a human being gains success. Okay, let's chant the shloka. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha
Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha
paradharmat swanushtitat
paradharmat vanushtitat
स्वभावनियतं कर्म
स्वभावनियतं कर्म
कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्.
कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्.
Yeah. So this should seem familiar to you, correct? Should seem familiar. Yeah. And why should it seem familiar?
Like the Swadharme Nidanam Shreyaha Paradharmo
Second chapter.
Mayad.
Right. So we saw that. We saw that same shloka. Half of the first half of the shloka we saw 3.35. Treyans for the Bobiguna. So there it was talked, same thing here said. Treyan. That is the main word here. Swadharmaha, of course. Vigunaha paradharmat swadharma. Once doing one's own duty is the greatest thing. That's what Krishna is saying. Shreyan is that. Shreyan means superior, best. So Shreyas, Shreyas word is there, right? So that Sakaranta Pullingam becomes Shreyan, Shreyamsav, Shreyamsah. And so, greatest. Swadharma is the greatest. Compared to what? Compared to Paradharmat Swanushtitat. Paradharmat Swanushtitat means what? Hey, you get attracted by somebody else's job, somebody else's profession, because it's more glamorous, maybe because it's more remunerative, maybe because it's easier to do. Okay. Maybe because it's, less effort is needed to do that. Therefore, I'm going to change my profession to do that. Nothing wrong in changing one's profession. Nothing wrong at all. But Krishna is saying, be careful. As long as it's coming from your heart. What you do has to come from your heart. Swabhava niratam karma. Okay. And here, Swabhava niyatam karma. It has to come from you. The further and further away I move away from my calling, as it were, the greater stress it's going to be. No job can keep me fulfilled if I move too far away, but getting attracted by something or the other. Material, but nothing has the capacity to give me joy. Nothing has the capacity, really speaking. First of all, that basic thing itself is there. Even family members are useful for me. Let me make use of them for my own benefit and for everybody else's benefit. And then I can grow out of the need for family, right? Family itself is like that. What about all these jobs and other things? What about the possessions and all? They are even less important. Profession is very important for my survival, no doubt. And so there are times when I have to change who I am, right? Somebody said, I love astronomy that guy is an IT. No, he is a physics major. And as a child, he was interested in astronomy and physics major. And then he's working in an IT company, doing IT projects. Then something happened and I ended up here. But his love is still there. He's not doing astronomy, he's not doing physics, okay? But his love is still there. He calls himself a stargazer. Look at that, stargazer. He still has binoculars and all that. He will take off. Take off where? He will go to some of the darkest parts of India. These days, it's very hard to find, even in the night, it is very hard to find dark sky. Dark sky. So somewhere, some Assam or something, he will go. Why you are going to Assam? What is your connection with Assam? First of all, it's part of India, so I am a Bharatiya. Okay, the connection is there. Don't you ever say there's no connection with Assam? Okay, but then these dark places, they all have this idea. This darkest place, because to see the stars, you can't have this diffused light all over. So he loves it. So he loves that. Anyway, this is the topic here. We'll continue the discussion. And Krishna is telling what we already know. Intuitively, we know all these things. So we'll come back to this discussion. ॐ आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ